Hi again, Louise.
Hi again. Here we are for Monica Hall, practically still a virgin. So far, she's still a virgin.
Yeah, so far we read from the chapter Lone Wolf through The Spider and the Fly, and she is still a virgin from
She
what we're
is, but it's
reading.
getting dicey.
It is getting dicey.
My heart goes out to Monica at that age. Like, even though we know her as an adult and we've all been in these precarious situations, just this whole part made me think, oh, I could picture her
I
and
know.
all the stuff going on.
And she started kind of hanging out with someone named Kelly, who this goes into. That's what these chapters basically are Kelly and the older boys and
Yeah.
pretty
Brothers.
yeah, Kelly's brothers, pretty, I don't want to say a sketchy crowd, but like
Yeah,
a,
she chose
a
a rough crowd.
a rough crowd,
And
which
it made me think because she said, about fitting in. I had this because she was really smart, but she didn't fit with the nerdy group.
mm-hmm,
She wanted to be popular and cool, but she didn't have the money or the clothes from all these oil boom people moving there that had rich families. So she was and she's an adoptee. So she's doing the
right.
where do I fit thing. And there was something her mom said I just highlighted because it just reminded me of something. It said, when in my 30s, mama told me she wondered why I chose low class friends. And I had a lot of those comments like growing up, like,
Uh-huh.
why are you with that person? Why, like we were so this, and why are you with that? And I like those people because they let me belong
And be yourself.
and be your, and there was that line about
Well,
that.
and
Yeah. Go
oh, well,
ahead. I
she
know what you're going
said,
to say.
I've since read that low self-esteem can be caused by unsupportive parents' trauma and poor performance at school, all of which I had. And she
Hmm.
envied that Kelly wasn't a lone wolf, right? And then Kelly was like, hey, broken kids recognize broken kids. They're
Yeah.
easier to be friends with because they're less likely to judge and are just trying to survive.
I mean, Kelly's pretty smart.
Yeah. Well,
Because
Kelly has to be smart because she's basically,
raising herself.
raising, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she had a hard childhood, and she was jealous of her childhood a little bit because it was so freedom, but it was sad freedom,
I
abusive.
mean,
Yeah, gross.
meaning like the dad was he, I think
Sexually.
Kelly's dad was a drinker. He
Yeah.
was he was a stepfather.
Yep.
There
That's
was
what
no
we
dad
talk
in the
about.
picture. Right, stepfather. So,
We just
and she
discussed
had all
that.
these older brothers and their friends, and they were dealing, and I mean, really just, and
Yeah.
she's only 15.
I know. She's
Think
only
about how
15.
young that is.
Like,
Of
when
course,
looking
I
back,
did. Yeah,
I know at 15, that's when I was getting my most trouble, 14,
yeah,
15. Now, when I see kids that age, I think, oh my God. Like, I just want to protect them.
I know.
I want to go
So
around everywhere
young.
and, like, don't do that. No, be safe.
I mean, imagine someone who is
No,
15 now was born in 2010.
no. Can't.
We were like out trying to come up with business ideas and
Isn't that crazy?
and so
Yeah.
yeah, it's just hard to
Yeah.
imagine.
I do like the pictures in this book. You get a good image of all these boys together, and one's holding a
Mm-hmm.
gun.
Yeah, I know. I
And he's
know.
probably like 12, that kid. Yeah, it's really, and so then a couple things happen. She gets caught being doing drugs, right? Her mom never, she has this thing about her mom, how her mom always ignored things. Even to this
Hmm.
day, she'll admit things later. But at first, she's like, I don't remember that. That didn't happen even then. So her mom would see her eyes dilated and say, well, my eyes are smaller because I have fair eyes. And she's like, okay, but her dad clued in.
Yeah,
And then he became super abusive, which we were scared from the last time. That
yeah.
and that was upsetting to read about because we had a feeling that was coming. Just and he kind of got off on abusing her, and the
Well,
mom,
yeah.
yeah, and the mom had to admit later in life, like, yeah, I stopped him from that when I saw he had pleasure in abusing you, which is a whole mixed. She had so much mixed messages going on. Be this good girl, but let me beat you. I don't know.
Let me beat you for what I'm thinking you're
Yeah.
thinking. Not even really,
Yeah, it was all about boys. He was,
all about boys, which is so weird that he would be so obsessed with it, but we kind of know why, I guess.
yeah.
he went into his history
Yeah.
prior. And then we all know, I don't know, I mean, we know that Monica, I
Yeah.
think it's in everywhere. She talks about it that she gave up a child for adoption.
Yep.
And so I think this is leading to that because this older boy kind of forces her to meet with him one night. And there's all
Yeah.
that's a power dynamic, right? She's 15,
Yep.
he's 19. She didn't even like him. She liked another guy.
She liked the younger brother, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
sweeter younger brother, and this was the powerful scary. He had been scary a few times. She saw him, with the like take a drug
Beating
dealer out
somebody
that,
and
yeah.
yeah.
And that's why it's called Spider and the Fly, because she really was the fly. She even brought a friend along on their date. He kind of forced her to have, and he took the friend home, made her wait there.
Yeah.
And now we're left with that. We didn't read ahead, but I'm guessing
Right. We will.
something's gonna happen because
Uh,
practically still a virgin, pretty much. I mean, she coveted the one thing about her, Monica. She coveted her virginity even in the bad crowd. Like kind of the one thing
or
she
she
had,
was
not
proud
coveted.
about it,
Sorry,
not coveted.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
was held it like with
Yes,
with pride.
like
Yeah.
sacred. It was her
Mm-hmm.
thing to have power.
Oh, Monica. Well, we
I
will
know.
we go on. It goes on.
I was
Next.
thinking how bold adoptees are, right? Writing these stories
I
and like you're
know.
putting your life out there and saying, even I guess us, we're saying things and it's bold because you have to kind of just take the blinders all off. And she's really, Monica, I give you a lot of credit for that. Just putting this out for other people to feel like, okay, I'm not alone,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Hats off to you, Monica. It's a brave writing.
Yeah, it
So,
is.
well, speaking of brave, we have another
Uh,
brave adoptee coming on to tell their story.
yeah,
So,
she's neat.
yeah, I'll see you in a minute for Alejandra.
I'll see you in a minute.